And getting back on this spirit thing, like the whole NPC or bad spirit thing or whatever, man. Because I keep hearing people say, "Oh man, there's only a few of us out there," but I think dude, that is so judge fucking mental. That is so judgmental. I mean, you must have just been just a pearly little white crystal your whole life, just perfect. Just anything that came up, you dealt with, you processed. You just a clean slate constantly. You know what I mean? You never have anything to deal with. You just always on point. It must be nice, man. It must be nice to have that perfect kind of life and be able to judge everybody else. Yeah, must be real nice. Like I said, I think we're beautiful, pure souls born into this fucking hellhole. My evidence of that is the testament to how I'm 43 and I'm just now getting my healing. There's other people, I've read other people's stories of other people in their 60s, 70s, healing from CPTSD, not knowing what was going on with them their whole lives. Just now figuring this out. So what I think is they put you on the program at birth, right? So they put you on this program at birth, all these different programs. Well, it's up to you to deprogram. So your humanity, let's say you're a child growing up, right? And you see a kid getting picked on, you stand up for him. That's humanity, right? That would be your humanity coming out, okay? Or you see someone, an old lady that needs help, and you go and help her. Or you see, your parents need help, so you help them. That's your humanity. That's your humanity. You see somebody hurting, and you give them a hug. That's your humanity as a child. Well, as we grow up, these programs that we're on are pulling it. What they do is they create cognitive dissonance because these programs do not allow living this life and being successful in this life while at the same time showing your humanity to people. Okay? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It can happen. There are people that go around and give free hugs, whatever, dude. But I'm just saying, for the most part, this realm does not allow... I lost my train of thought because I never thought this deep into it, because I never thought there would be pricks out there just wanting to... I thought I got out of the Christian and all that religious shit and I'd be safe from people thinking, condemning people to fucking, your soul is good or your soul isn't. And now I'm finding out no matter where you go, these cocksuckers want to tell you if your soul is good or not. Everybody wants to judge your ass, man. Everybody. Man. But yeah, so they got you on this program. And what happens, I believe, is in the military, okay? In the military, for instance, there was this guy that couldn't keep up. And we, as a group, me and my guys, beat the living fuck out of this cocksucker because he kept on getting us smoked. He kept on getting us in trouble because he kept on losing shit and fucking things up and on and on and on and on. So as a group, we whooped his ass. As individuals, we whooped his ass. He got his ass kicked all the fucking time. This is not good. This is obviously not a good thing. You should not be doing this to somebody. But it was done. And what I'm trying to say is when you grow up with trauma and you grow up in these ways, okay, and on these programs and on all these abusive programs, you are like an open vessel. So like you are an Agent Smith. At any given moment, an entity can come in and take over and do bidding or can heavily influence, okay? Now, also, you can be under oppression and still be completely here, but be under oppression and do certain things and make certain decisions because the oppression's so terrible. Of course, that is your choice whether to make those decisions. But again, when you're outside, everything's about outside influences, guys. It's either yourself or outside external influences. That's it. So the soul, I believe what happens is these people is we are just beaten down and then put on the program. And it's just that way we don't realize, and we become these vessels, these open containers for these entities to do their bidding. And I think what they do is, for those of us who are really striving with our souls, they come into those people at times and fuck with us to make our lives harder. And we're clinging on to those people, hoping to help, whether they be family, friends, whatever, hoping we can help or whatever them, but they're being used through the system to make our lives harder. If any of this makes sense. I've never verbalized any of this. It's all coming out of my head now. But this is what I believe. I believe there are some, the creatures that are not human that walk this earth, I believe those are the powers that be. You know what I mean? The main powers that be that are pulling strings and making shit happen. The bloodlines. Like all the American presidents are from the same bloodline. You know what I mean? All the royals are from the same bloodline. Those are the entities. Now, whether those entities are fucking, if that's the Nephilim or whatever, I don't care. Who cares? You can't prove any of this. So who gives a fuck? It's all conjecture. All we know for sure is that it's not good, that we're being bamboozled. So if we can agree on that and go, well, we're all being bamboozled, so let's not tear each other down when we have a fucking original thought of our own. And if somebody's tearing everybody down that's having original thoughts of their own and is just blasting everybody and acting like they know everything, fuck them. They need to get fucking hit right smack dab in their fucking mouth. Yes, and some people do need that. Some people need that to wake them up. I had to have major brain injuries to wake me up. That's what finally woke me up, is all my brain injuries. Some people are so deluded, they think they're so truth. Oh, I'm getting out of here, I'm going to do this. And yet they're just assholes and complete cocksuckers. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, our spirit is just about being human towards each other. That's all it all. We show it. You will know them by their fruits, by the way they act, by the way they show it. If you are not going to lend a hand, if you're clinging to this life so hard that you are so unwilling to put your life in front for another, then that's a problem. That's probably an issue. Why are you clinging so hard to a life that you don't think you're even supposed to be in? If that's the way you believe, you should have no problem laying down your life for another. Right? That would be the ultimate sacrifice. Right? That's what Jesus did. That was his ultimate sacrifice, laying down his life for everybody. So yeah, man, I mean, to sit there and blow off all of humanity is it's more ludicrous than these little religions are. At least these religions are proposing to save more people. God damn. Just write off billions of people and say, well, there's only about 10 of us out here, so, we're just going to have to stick together. What the fuck? There are not 10 of us out there, guys. That is that is the biggest condemnation I've ever heard. 10 of us, 12, 15 of us, 20 of us. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Right, everybody else's experience is off. Right, everybody off who is still under programming and is trying to come out. Write them all off. Just write them all off. God. Thankfully, you're not the one making decisions around here. My thing is, man, I think everybody has a soul except for a select few that are, put here to run this shit. The rest of us, I believe, are open containers for entities, for whatever, to help sway and, get things to go in certain ways and fuck up true souls and things of that nature. Even though we're open containers does not mean, it just means we're running on a program. Our soul is still there, but we are running on a program. I'll give you an example. The woman I worked for, when I first had this brain injury, this recent brain injury, if you go back and watch my videos and follow that shit, she gave me work. She was being very nice. She was trying to help. She was trying to understand, but she couldn't. She got to the point where, for her, because she had had major trauma and injuries in her life, she couldn't deal with me getting, she couldn't empathize with me anymore. So because she wasn't healed all the way, her empathy ran out quickly, and it turned to having to lash out. She sent me 50 text messages within the span of a couple hours, telling me, things that you wouldn't even believe, the nastiest stuff that can come out of a person's mouth towards somebody. And these were not short text messages. These were, a paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs each. So for her to trip and flip like that, I believe that was an entity. I don't believe this woman's soul is nasty and dirty. I don't believe that she's just some otherworldly being that's here to make true souls' lives miserable. I don't believe that. Could that be the case? It could. I don't know. But that's not what I'm going to say I think, because it's not what I think. She was nice to me. She gave me work. I was able to pay my bills for a couple months off her work. And then she flipped out and she abused me with 50 text messages. And I had to suck it up and go back to her house to get paid. And again, this is how the rich fuck with poor people. Again, guys, it's very hard in this world to separate evilness from rich or from wealthy or from money, because money is such a tool that's used to hold us down. And that's what she did. Again, this is another story of how the rich fuck with the poor. She was holding my money till I came back there and did what she demanded, which was some crazy shit that it was wild, dude. It was completely wild. And it was just a rich person holding power over a poor person. And it was someone who said they healed but had not healed completely, and who was living in the program and enjoying all the pleasures of this world. And she could not stand seeing someone like me who was genuinely hurting and just was doing everything. I didn't want to be around her. I was not trying to put my issues or my problems or anything on her. I was in this world doing what I had to survive. And unfortunately, she was one of the people that I was around at that time. But yeah, man. So that's what I'd say. I'd say that, she was not born a demon. And then her story. Look at her story. She's older than me. She's like 10 years older than me. And look at her story, maybe more. And look at her story. She was adopted into a neglectful family, a very wealthy, neglectful mother and father. So this shit just comes from abuse. And for people to say that people who are coming from abused households have no soul or are evil and better luck next time, I would love for them to say that to my face. I would love for them to say that to my face, because all you little bitches out there that think that, physical violence shouldn't be. There should be no physical violence. But think that you can sit there and run your fucking cocksucker and say whatever you want and verbally abuse people? Fuck you, bitch. Come to my face and say something to me, and then we'll see what you think about physical violence. Yeah. People say whatever they want until they got to face the person. Then the story fucking changes. So, Anyways, yeah, condemnation, guys, stay away from that shit. If you're listening to people who are just flat out condemning billions and like 99.9999% of the world to eternal damnation or being recycled back in this earth or whatever, and just have no heart and just judging everybody, man, fuck that shit, bud. Fuck that. Tell them to get a fucking life. Yeah, and especially if you're healing from CPTSD, guys, that shit will crush your soul. That shit will make you want to kill yourself. You know, you got to be careful listening to those cocksuckers because that shit will make you want to, it'll make you suicidal. If you have a heart, but you've been abused, and then you got people telling you that you don't have a soul and that you're nasty and you're getting put right back down here because that's what you deserve and maybe you can learn your lesson next time. Those people have major issues, bud. You want to talk about entities taking over beings and saying what to say and crushing souls. That's a soul crusher right there. So, yeah, man, people need to get off their high and mighty fucking horse. Quit acting like they're the gatekeeper to all what happens after we die. Fucking ridiculous, man. How ridiculous. People acting like they're gatekeepers to the knowledge of what happens after we die. Unreal.